Here we go. Hello, hello, everyone. Okay, so I'm trying to get I'm trying to get oriented here. It's been a little while since I've done this, and the platforms that I have historically used. Hi, Emily. The platforms I have historically used have kind of changed a little bit. So I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook, and I'm on YouTube all at once. And it's really odd because the Instagram is a portrait as opposed to a landscape. And I'm kind of trying to get in the camera. It's a little weird. So I'm figuring it out as I go. How are you? How is everyone? So I'm super excited to start doing this once again. It's been a minute. It's been a minute since I've done some live stuff. I've been on TikTok actually, and we have launched our community, which is awesome. It's a small community right now, but it's growing, and we are excited about creating connection based on our desire to develop our awareness and ultimately tap in to our own intuitive nature to understand who we truly are in terms of the power that we have to create our experiences and our reality, regardless of the chaos that we are living in on a day to day basis, especially these days. And so I thought it would be great to jump on and start having conversations about ways that we can maintain our sense of self, um, access our own divine intuitive knowing in the midst of difficult circumstances, because it may not just be what's happening in the United States right now and in the world, because there's so much happening, right? It's also having the awareness and the capacity to be able to navigate through your life's circumstances, because all of our lives have ups and downs and good experiences and not so good experiences. And so we really want to help, because I think that that's why I'm here at this time in our history. And I've been here times before, but this time in our history, I am here to help. I am here to provide support and help as people are figuring out how to release the things that are getting in the way of accessing their own peace of mind, their own truth, their own knowing. This is not about just me teaching you about spirituality and spiritual development. Hi, Roslyn. It's so good to see you. Yay. So it's not just about me teaching spirituality and telling you to think the way that I think and believe what I believe. That's not what I'm about. And you'll find that across platforms. You'll find that in a lot of mediums and spiritual teachers where, like, this is what you should believe in. And I believe that we all have our own sacred journey. We go through these layers of knowing, and we go through these layers of discovery of who we are as we relate to the people in our life and the experiences that we are having. And as we navigate through that, we gain a deeper sense of awareness. When we heal, we get rid of the static and the noise that gets in the way of us being able to access that little tiny voice within us, which is actually our intuition. But with all the noise, the worry, the concern, the overwhelm, that literally blocks our ability to access our divine wisdom and our knowing. And so I am going to jump on Facebook more often. I promise I'm going to come back to Facebook. And I've been on TikTok off and on, and just trying to get more awareness of what is happening in the world right now and why it's happening. Okay. And so I thought I would do a few readings here and again, but I am here ultimately to do some teaching. And then within the context of those experiences, I'll pause, I'll do a reading here and there. And hi, Lori. It's good to see you here too. Yay. Lori's a part of our community. So she's an integral part of our community. So I'd like to invite you to join our community. Before I get started in my actual teaching, our community has sort of this monthly rhythm that we started, I guess at the onset of the year. We started this rhythm where we have a focused topic that we are working on. And this past month, it was our blooming gifts. And this is really helping us tap into our creativity so that we can access source. We access source through our imagination and through our creativity, because what happens is we're working within within our system that is less logical in our approach. So what I mean by that is when we get creative and we use our imagination and we kind of move into the flow of just allowing ourselves to be playful in any creativity. It doesn't have to be art. It can be any creativity. The ego actually starts to relax a little bit, and we start to form a connection to our intuitive nature. You know, when you get into the flow of things, and if you are creative, you know what I'm talking about. Sometimes you get into the flow where you're just vibing. Whether it's, let's say it's music, the music that you're singing is just reverberating in your body, and you feel it and you're experiencing it wholeheartedly. If you're doing some sort of art like Lori quilts, and I know that in that experience, sometimes you just lose track of time because you're trying to figure it out, and you're letting yourself be playful in the design of things that maybe challenge you just a little bit more than what you have previously done. Like all of these experiences that are creative allow for us to connect beyond the egoic system, which is our intellectual aspect of the self, because that part of ourselves wants to tell us that we're not good enough, that we're not getting it right, that we still have so much more to learn, that it keeps us small. And so we really wanted to focus on blooming gifts and leaning into whatever type of creativity that feels comfortable for you, but to allow yourself to sit in the challenge of sort of extending your comfort level, because this is all about extending your comfort level. It's like moving beyond what you are accustomed to. So this coming month in April, we are going to be working on forgiveness and releasing. And so whether that is forgiveness of others or that's forgiveness of self, that's going to be our focus for the month. So I would like to invite you in to join us in our community. And I just saw that it says connect with us. The website there works, but that isn't our web address has changed. So we've done a lot of revamping. We have a healing library now that you can access some videos that we've created, some courses that we've created, some guides that we've created. And so there's lots of cool stuff that are now freebies for people. Okay, so let's see. Let me I actually made some slides for us to kind of talk about some things. And I do want to share some content and it not just, I know a lot of people like to do, hold on, let me make sure. I'm gonna close that out. I have to get used to this here. It's a little different. Okay, lots of windows open right now. Okay, I'm going to do a little bit of content, and I know a lot of folks are like, here, I would just want a reading. Yeah, I know, but we're going to do a little bit of content, okay? Because there's some stuff that's really important. If you don't know who I am Dr. Isela Garcia. I'm an intuitive trauma healing guide and medium. I don't like to call myself a coach because coaching has a very specific skill set that I know how to do, but it isn't my nature. Not my nature. So a really high quality coach, which is what Nina Vasquez is, and she's my partner in crime. We're the ones who do our Love Being community. She is a phenomenal coach who really helps you tap into your emotional state of being, to be reflective of what's happening in your body, and to really help you embody the full gamut of experiences that you are having. That's the way we heal. We heal through the body, not the mind. And she is phenomenal at helping all of us kind of move through our body's experiences. I know how to do this. It's not what I love to do. I know how, but what happens with me in a coaching setting is I go right to what's going on, and it's because I'm divinely guided. And it's not like, please, if you've never seen me before, I'm not saying that I'm special, because I don't like to put that across to people. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm doing, what I can do, everybody can do. It's just learning how to get out of your own way. And so what happens is I lean into people energetically, and I get a sense of who they are. And I can identify in a very short amount of time what could be the undercurrent of what's really going on. And so a coach is going to kind of guide you and lead you and finesse through the experience of you being self-reflective, and let's really tap into the body. And I'm like, I know what it is. I know what's wrong. And so my approach isn't what a true coach is. I really am a guide. And I can see I can see a lot of sort of your timeline, and can identify, okay, these are the things that happened in your life, and let's figure out why. Let's figure out why you continue to repeat these patterns, or let's figure out how you're making sense of the world, and let's figure out what you came here to do. And so now, once you have an understanding, we can do the coaching stuff that really helps you go deeper into your own state of awareness and your own knowing, because that's the goal. The goal isn't to become dependent on people to help you through that process. The goal is to give you the skill set to build your capacity to be able to do this work yourself. And so that's why I'm the guide and she's the coach, and we do great work together. I'm also a medium, but I don't do mediumship online unless they push their way through. And I will tell you, some do push their way through while I'm doing a live, because they're like, hey, I haven't had the opportunity to connect with you. And sometimes they will do that. And it's very uncomfortable for me when they are pushing their way through. It actually feels like I can't breathe. And so I have to teach them to step back, and that there are other ways to get to come through, and they don't take over my body. Nothing like that happens. It's kind of like tapping me on the shoulder and saying, hey, I want to say something. And so I do mediumship, but not on any platform. I like to do it in a private session. Okay. So a lot of people come on. There are a lot of great mediums who do that stuff on social media, and they're phenomenal. I'm just not one of those. I don't feel comfortable doing that in this sort of setting. So, yeah, that's who I am. That's who I am. Okay. So let's start with awareness. Okay. I want to talk about a few things, and then I'll do a reading. I'll do a quick reading. And what I'm doing is just, let me turn this light off. It's kind of like too much lighting in here, isn't it? So I do quick reads. And so these are mini readings of tapping into people intuitively to kind of see what comes up. And the key there's so many keys, but the first one is developing our own sense of awareness. Developing our own sense of awareness is understanding who we truly are. And I talk a lot in levels. There's a level of the experience of being in form. That means I'm in this body. I'm having this experience. I'm watching all the things happening. I'm going to the grocery store. I'm in relationship with my kid and my husband. I got like all of the human experience, including all of the things that we feel, all of the emotions that are showing up for us. All of that is the human experience. And it's a very intentional experience. You chose to be here at this particular time. And I know for me, my entire adult life has been in preparation to be here now. To be here now. All of my personal experiences as a child, coming from generational trauma, coming into adulthood, where my focus since I was 18 years old was to heal so that I wouldn't repeat what was done to me as a child. Like that was literally my goal. And I wanted to experience happiness. I had a mom who consistently said, I have never been happy a day in my life. And I didn't want to have that experience. And even though I was away from home, I actually was repeating the very thing I swore I would never do. And that was a hard reality for me because at the time there wasn't a lot of stuff on understanding brain development, understanding the nervous system. At least it wasn't accessible to us because we didn't have this thing called the internet. There wasn't Google back then. And so I had to rely on going to therapy and learning what to do and how to manage all of the resentment and the hurt and the pain and the trauma that I had experienced. And that started when I was 18. So my entire journey has been figuring myself out, but also figuring people out. People, like, understanding how the brain works and how the body works is so incredibly fascinating to me. And so I spent my career in early childhood education. And I thought that I was there to teach and to lead, and I ran programs and all of the thing. But really it was, there's a reciprocal relationship that happened. Not only did I give, I received. I received so much understanding about who I am and how to be of service to others. And so I believe that that's why I'm here. I'm here to be of service to others. And awareness, developing our awareness is, I guess, my goal. My goal is to help people who are open and willing and willing to be in the muck, like willing to be in the hard stuff. Like you get to a place where you're like, I've done all of the things that I have done for years and years and years, and I'm still in this place. I don't feel like I have progressed. I feel like I'm spinning, or I feel overwhelmed, or I'm consistent. Like I get moments of joy or moments of happiness, but I can't seem to sustain it. It's like circumstantial. When things are going well, I feel good. When things are shit, I feel bad. So this idea of knowing how to navigate through difficult circumstances begins always with awareness, always with awareness. And so that first level I was talking to you about form, right? Developing the awareness of my thoughts. Like I'm thinking about things and I'm feeling things, but we have to tap into what it is that we are experiencing, becoming aware, understanding who is the one who is aware, who is the one that taps into what we are experiencing. Who is that? Who is that? And so many of us, by mere survival, by just to survive, we've learned to some of us disassociate, disconnect from our emotional state, not even know who we truly are because we've been what everybody told us that we needed to be in order to receive love, connection, affection, and approval. So then we land in our 30s and 40s and 50s, and we're like, I'm not sure. I know what I did as a career, what I do as a career, I know the roles that I've played in my life. Maybe I'm a mom, I'm a sister, I'm a daughter, I'm an uncle, I'm a dad. I know my roles, but I don't know who I am. Okay? And that's the journey. That's what I call our sacred journey in being informed in the body. Okay? And we're here to feel it all. We're here to feel all of the experiences, and it sucks. It sucks, and it's so hard a lot of the times, but we're here to feel it all. And then there's the second level I talk about, and that's the level of the soul. That's the level people sometimes refer to the oversoul, sometimes refer to the highest self. Some people call it our deepest I. There's lots of names for it, but it's the part of you that is an aspect of source. It is source in action. Now, there are lots of names for source. Some people call source God. Some people call it our mother, father, God. Some people call it the all that is. I actually call it the all that is oftentimes. And so this aspect of ourselves is still connected to that oneness. And every single one of us are an aspect of source. So this understanding that I am you and you are me is at the core of my existence. I am you and you are me. And then a lot of us want to pause and we're kind of going, wait a minute, but that means a lot of people are doing really horrible things right now. What do you mean they're an aspect of source? Yeah, well, we all are. We all are. But there's this thing called the ego, which comes from, there are 4 aspects of the self that I talk about in our program. And one of them is our intellectual self, intellectual aspect of the self. And that's the part where the ego exists. That's the one that gathers all the information and wants to know lots of things and, keeps us small sometimes, keeps us scared sometimes, tells us we're not enough sometimes. And so this ego within the intellectual aspect of self is an acronym that I heard from Wayne Dyer. He may not have been the first one to say this, but it was the first time I heard it. It was edging God out. And so our ego, the ego, there's the collective ego that's going haywire right now. And that's what we're seeing. But beyond the story and beyond the egoic experience, we are all one. And this is why it's so important right now to recognize our oneness, to respond understanding that this isn't about me and what I get. It's about how we care for others, how we take care of our communities, how we take care of the people, not only in the United States, but in the world. This isn't about borders. This isn't about, segregating a particular group of people. This is about recognizing our truth, that we are all aspects of source. We're all aspects of source uniquely having an experience here. So the awareness of that is critical because it helps me, and I help it to help you respond from a place of love, because it's really easy to get scared right now. It's really easy to feel overwhelmed right now. It's really easy to feel hopeless and helpless. It's really easy. But when we can choose to act, and it doesn't have to be big acts, it could be small acts. When we choose to act from a place that is rooted in love, because we see the oneness in one another, we not only create a vibrational frequency of love, we give other people permission to do the same. And that vibrational frequency becomes a part of the culmination that needs to happen in order for us to navigate through these difficult experiences that we are having right now. Okay. So the awareness of who you truly are helps us when we're feeling overwhelmed, because we start to recognize that all of this is simply a part of the journey. All of this is a sacred part of our learning. And I don't really think that we grow. I don't think we grow, and which is really hard for a lot of people to understand. I don't think we actually grow. I believe that what we're doing is we're remembering our truth. So we're getting rid of all of the obstacles, perceptions, the barriers, the beliefs, limiting beliefs. We're getting rid of those through our healing, through integration, through the whole process. And everyone's going to look a little bit different. We come to this awareness, this deeper understanding where we can easily, and sometimes not so easy. In the beginning, it's not so easy, but ultimately easily connect to our sense of awareness and our sense of our divine knowing. Our divine knowing. You can access that at any time in the midst of chaos. You can access your divine knowing. That's accessing source. Okay. You don't need a teacher. You don't need a preacher. You don't need somebody who's been holier than thou or a guru. You don't need any of that. You don't need any of it. You have the power to do that yourself. And that's why that's what's trying to be squashed right now. That's why there's so many conversations around taking away rights, women's rights, people from marginalized communities' rights. Taking away, what that does is it actually keeps us small. It keeps us from knowing our true power, and that we actually do have the power to change the world. We do, but we got to get our shit together. We got to start to raise the vibrational frequency, and it's not spiritual bypassing. And I'll talk about that in a second. All righty. So I've done a little spiel because I can go on forever, and I have more to share. But I'm gonna jump on Friday as well. So we'll conclude on Friday. So let's go ahead and do, if anybody is still here with me, probably people left. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. I ain't got time for it right now. If you are still here with me and you would like a quick reading, let me know. Talk to me. Tell me what's going on. Let me see. What's going on with you? How's life going? Anybody still here? I don't know if I'm getting, I see myself on Instagram and I see myself on Facebook, and I'm not sure if I think I'm on. Yeah, I'm on. Okay. I am on YouTube. Okay. Awesome. And make sure you follow me in all the places. Not just me, but Nina. Me and Nina, both. Yeah. So great to see you, kind of see you, know that you're here. Love that you're here. How are you? How is life? You would love one. Okay. So wait, Lori, are you like, do you want one, or you're going to get your granddaughter? I'm a little confused. Are you doing it at the same time? Oh, let me move my keyboard. Can't post comments to some destinations. I wonder what that means. Post profiles. I don't know what that means. Oh, I didn't know I could go on TikTok. Both. Okay. All right. So I'll do Lori, then I'll do Margaret, and then I'm going to do a little more teaching because that's what I'm here to do. Okay. And I just also want to let you know that we do have a community that we are building, that we are actively building now. So, and this month's theme is forgiveness of self and others. All right. So let me just write this down. I won't forget this, but you know, I'm getting old. Okay. All right, Lori. Lori is a part of our community. She's an active member of our community, and we are super excited that she is there. We're super thankful that she consistently shows up. She does. She shows up for herself, and that's amazing. It's amazing. All right, Lori, I'm going to lean into you. Okay, Lori, hold on. Let me switch this here. So I take off. Nope, that's not what I want to do. Hold on. There it is. Okay. All right, Lori, the very first thing that came to me was switching. And I don't know if you have that you need to switch things up or there's been some change in your life, but it feels like something either has shifted or needs to shift. I'm also getting a sense of okay, that's a little confusing to me. So this is about your own self-care and doing the things that are good for you. And it feels like there's progress and then not so much. Like, I don't know if you're going, these are the things that I care about, or these are the things that I want to do, or these are the things that I've implemented. And then I'm kind of not doing the other things. Does any of that make sense to you at all? It's so hard when we're not on video, huh? It's easier when we're on video because I have like immediate. Let me pull a card. I should start on cards. Start doing in our community. I lean in just like I did, and then I pull a card. I think while I'm on social media out here in the world, I'm just gonna pull a card first and then lean in a little bit. Okay. Hmm. Yeah. I do some things and not the other. Yeah. Okay. So you got the card Be Here Now. Okay. I live in the moment, and I already kind of know where we're going with this, but hold on. Okay. They want me to kind of stress this, like this kind of stress, like that. You have to be present. There are, I don't know if you're worried, you're concerned, you're overthinking, you're over processing, you're just kind of in your analytical brain. It feels good there, right? Because you feel like you have some sense of control, but they really want you to. I've been start exercising more, but I have to start exercising. Yeah, yeah, I get it. I get it. It feels like there's you're doing a lot of in your head kind of things, and so the message is to really work on being present, finding opportunities through the day to just get yourself grounded, get yourself in the present moment. I don't know if you do like intuitive eating, even like I'm going to eat this meal and I'm going to be fully present as I eat. I'm going to taste the food. I'm not going to inhale the food. I'm going to taste it. I'm going to slow down. I'm going to smell it. I'm going to just have the experience of being fully present as I'm eating or as I'm walking or as I'm doing whatever that you do in your life. They're saying you're here too much. Okay. Drop in and be here now. Okay. So that's your big message. Okay. Sending you love, Lori. Okay, Margaret. I'm going to do Margaret, and then I'm going to do a little more talking, a little more teaching. Okay. All right. Let me pull a card first. Margaret, it's been a little while. I'm wondering how you're doing. I'm wondering how work is going, how life is going. You've been very much in your head. Yeah. Yeah. Be here now. Be here now. And you know what's fascinating about the present? Like the present moment, the moment we recognize the present moment, it's already past. That's what's so tricky. That's so tricky. It's like we've got to drop in, but the moment we go present moment, I mean, we drop in, right? It helps us get to the next moment. But the moment we recognize it, it's already past. So we want to drop in and just experience it without thinking about it. Okay. All right. We've done some grounding stuff where you start to recognize your environment, what you see, what you smell, what you taste, all those things. All right. Hold on. Let me lean into you, Margaret. You got the go within card. Okay. Trust and I will know is the affirmation. I hear the word change, 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 change. I don't know if there's lots of change happening in your life, changes that need to happen in your life, but it's like change, 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 change. So, yeah, I know all is good, pretty consider the state of the world. Okay. So, change, does that make sense at all to you? It's so hard when we're like, see, in our community, we do video. And so I get to do a reading and then we get to connect and nothing on the horizon, but you never know. Okay. So I'm going to go with this go within card. Let me pull it from another deck because it came to me like that. And literally it was like change, 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 change. And so it's weird that I would hear it the way that I did. So let me get my other deck. And let's see if we can get some more clarity. Okay. Okay. Got my, I don't know what deck this is. I guess I should know to give credit. I have no idea what deck this is. Okay, but it's one of my favorites. Okay, here we go. Ah, ha, ha. So this going within card, it's like they're telling me that there's some stuff you got to get honest about. There's stuff that you kind of have to get honest about. You're I don't know, it's like you're doing life and life might be totally fabulous except the state of the world, right? But there's something deep that you kind of got to unpack a bit more. This is that going within. You got to go deep. You got to go deep. Okay? Let me pull another card and let's see what happens. You turn 60 in November. Okay, and change feels inevitable. Happy late birthday. Happy late birthday. Yeah, change feels inevitable. Okay, here we go. I'll do it again. I started doing this on TikTok so people could actually see I had a deck of cards, and now it's a habit. You got the music card. Okay, Archangel. I don't know this angel. Israfel. Israfel. Okay, hold on. Let me see what this music has to do with anything. Okay, so the first thing that came to me when I leaned in about music wasn't just necessarily the whole experience of, you know, playing music and connecting to music and the importance of that. It was also this idea of sparking joy. Do you have enough joy in your day to day experience of life? Okay, that idea of change and joy seems consistent with lots of recent messages. There's this like, it almost feels like there's a part within you that needs to be unlocked. And this is that going within. I've been thinking about the exact thing about joy. There's a part of you that you're like on a tipping point of really, do you remember those layers that we talk about? All the onion, or the onion, you peel back the layer and you peel back the layer and then peel back the layer. And there's another layer, right? It feels like this going deeper within, that whole like getting honest about yourself, about things that maybe you've experienced or things that are happening, things in your life. And there's this little spark within you, that either needs joy or is joy, that needs to be either accessed or released. Okay. But you've got to do a little bit of unpacking, because it feels like there's like circumstantial joy, like, you know, going with family or having a get together or having a party or whatever. It's like, you know, those things, you have moments that spark joy, but it seems to be it, you know, and I'm not saying that we need to be happy all the time. That's not at all what I'm saying. But it seems to be more circumstantial than that, you know, that grounded feeling of um contentment. Yeah, that. Okay. All righty. I hope that helps, Margaret. And I love that you're here. Thank you for showing up. I so appreciate you being here and connecting with you again. You understand this. Okay. Awesome. Awesome. Yay. All righty. I've been on for 42 minutes. I can talk for days and days. All right. So I do want to talk about, I'm going to move into accessing divine wisdom while being the change. Okay. Um, that's affirming and thankful. Great. I'm glad. I'm so glad. Okay, so accessing divine wisdom while being the change. Actually, I'm going to jump to here. This is something that, and if you're on Instagram, you may not be able to see my image. Actually, I know you can't see my image. So if you are on Facebook or you're on YouTube, please check me out in, because I'm streaming there as well. So you can see kind of my slide that's over here. All right. So this image, I was introduced to this, I mean, like a really, really long time ago. And I think Stephen Covey was the first time I had heard about this circle of control. And it came from one of his leadership books. I don't know if that's where it originated from, but that's how I was introduced to this. And at the time, I was running a crisis intervention program and a lot of stressors. I mean, the high stress, kiddos and families in kind of like the most extreme circumstances in terms of crisis and trauma that they were experiencing. And my heart hurt a lot. It was heavy. It was heavy work. It was heavy work when I had children who I knew were being abused, and we did all the things that we could legally do, and nothing was being done. And when I remember a specific day, I had a 4-year-old child who we needed to get her on the bus to go home. And every day I would have to go into her classroom and help her to the bus. most days she was kicking and screaming and yelling. And I had to get her to the bus and in a 5-point harness. Not a harness, a car seat. It didn't come out right. It was a car seat. But you know, the harness that they have on the 5-point. So it's like arm, click, click, because it's where the legs are. And that was hard. And I'm in Arizona where it's like 115 degrees in the summer. And those little buses just don't cool until you start driving around. And it was hot and it was hard and it was sad and it was overwhelming. And my heart hurt every single time I had to get her on the bus. And so I was introduced to this right around the time when I was really struggling with this, because I wanted to change the world. I wanted to change her experience. I wanted to protect her. I didn't want her to have to experience what she was going through, but we collectively did all of the things that we could do. And so this circle of control looks at 3 different lenses, basically looks through 3 different lenses. The first one is at the center. What can I truly, truly control? What can I control in my life? And let me tell you, if I could control other people, I would bottle that shit up and sell it because we cannot control anybody else but ourselves. We can control our perspectives. We can learn to control our emotional state, not necessarily our emotional state, but how we're feeling about some things, because emotions happen like that. It's an instant reaction to situations. And our feelings are things that we can navigate through and learn to control. What we say, we can control. What we do, we can control. Now, that takes a little bit of capacity building, which I'll talk about probably on Friday. But this experience of what can I control really helps when we're feeling overwhelmed by all of the things that are happening in the world right now. Okay. The ring outside of that, so the center circle is what I can control, and the ring right outside of that is what I can influence. Now, how we are influential to others is how we engage with others. Often this is based in relationships, but also by ways of giving and of being kind and supportive. There are a lot, and we can negatively influence people, but that's not what my goal is. My goal is to figure out how can I be of the best service that I can to others. How can I be helpful? How can I be kind? How can I support this time that we're in, this transition that we are in? How can I be supportive of people who are really struggling through this time? So how can I be influential? And again, as I mentioned, this is what I do, and this is what I can control. But my influence is thinking, how can I be of support to, whether it's family members, it's friends, it's people that you work with. It's like, what are the things that I can do? Because that's what's within my control. What I can do, what I can say, how I can serve. Okay. So how can I do that? And this is where the kind of connection between these two things are some of the decisions we can make to be of service while it feels like the world is on fire. Okay. This is helpful though, when you are feeling like, I've seen people are losing sleep because they're afraid that all of these things are going to happen, whatever that is, because we all have our ideas about, what might come to be. But in this moment right now, what can I truly control? And in this moment right now, how can I be helpful or influential to others and supportive to others? Okay. That's where our power lies, is the awareness of what I can do and how I can be helpful. Okay. This is really, once we get into the nitty gritty of what this actually looks like in practice, this is the essence of being the change. This is the essence of being the change we want to see in the world. Okay. The outer ring is the stuff that we're concerned about, that we don't have any immediate control over, and we don't have any influence over. Now, I will tell you that there are lots of things that we are concerned with. And one of the things that I think is critically important right now is that we need to learn, and this is capacity building, which I'm going to talk more about on Friday again. We need to become better at responding as opposed to reacting. Okay, something happens and we're like, boom, we want to blame, we want to name call, we want to say all of these things that puts the other person kind of in this place of like being the bad cop, the bad person, the bad, right? That's not like, I can make an observation and I can make a statement of what I believe is harmful to others. And the reason why I'm doing that, why I'm speaking out, why I'm saying these things, why I am advocating for certain things, that it's rooted in love. I'm doing this on behalf of, I'm doing this on behalf of women. Doing this on behalf of trans rights. I'm doing this on behalf of people from historically marginalized communities. I'm doing this on behalf of, because this is a collective experience of showing up as love. Okay. And I think those things that we are concerned about, the more we can act from a place of love, this is going into that level 2 of who we are beyond this time and space, we can actually create a shift. I'm a strong believer that a lot of things that could have happened in the past didn't happen because of global meditation, because of global prayer, because we all believed that we were going to get through this very tumultuous time in our life. But we are so fragmented right now, and people are so frightened right now, that we are rooted in fear as opposed to love. Okay. So the things that we don't have immediate control or influence on, that outer circle that we have concern about, the more we practice being fully present, not worrying about what isn't in our immediate control and how we can influence, we can actually impact the world. Okay. That is a little woo woo, but it works. It works. All right. So back to this accessing divine wisdom while being the change. Those two things can exist in the same space. And I unfortunately see far too many people in the spiritual community spiritually bypassing. Okay. Spiritually bypassing. Now, I do have a slide that I would like to share with you about spiritual bypassing. Here it is. This is when we avoid feelings with lots of spiritual language. Okay. Everything happens for a reason. Things are going to be just fine. We need to just observe it all without taking any action, because all is happening as it should. See, when we do that, we're number one, dismissing the pain that other people are experiencing. Remember, I am you, you are me. This is about an us thing, a we thing. Okay. And there are emotions that are showing up. Uncertainty, doubt can actually create an activated nervous system. That can activate our nervous system when we don't feel safe. So sometimes what happens when we spiritually bypass is we dismiss the emotions that we are experiencing. We pretend that we're not experiencing. High vibes only. Change your thoughts. Change your thoughts, change your experience. Now, I'll tell you that in the beginning, when I was first like learning how to deal with all of the pain that I had experienced as a kid, that change your thoughts, change your mind helped. It did. It helped me become aware of my thoughts. It helped me become aware of what it was that I was experiencing. But it didn't change the fear that actually existed within my body. And so what happens is we learn to suppress it, dismiss it, act as though it's not there. See, emotions tell a story, and it also gives us information about what we might be experiencing. Okay. And so it's important for us to acknowledge, to be aware of what's happening, to be witness of who's being harmed, and to make some decisions about how you can do what you can control and how you can be most influential. But when we do it from a place of fear, our ability to connect with our divine knowing and our divine sense of self goes offline. And well, it doesn't go offline, it never goes online. Our access to it becomes very, very challenging because it's almost like we create static, we create noise that prevents us from accessing that deep knowing, that deep knowing. Okay. So these two things can exist in the same time. We can access our divine wisdom and be the change that we want to see. And I know that just given my experience with folks, it can feel like it's too much. Now, I'm deeply, deeply entrenched in the day-to-day experiences of what's happening in the world. Like from all the angles. I am connected to independent news sources. I don't watch any I don't watch like very, like I would say 2% comes from like regular media. I forget what that's called. So much I don't even know what it's called. I really follow worldwide news and independent news folks. And so I know a lot of what's happening. And one of the things that I do is I come from an understanding of what's happening, like an informational gathering perspective. I don't know if I explained that very well. I am gathering information about understanding about what's happening in the world, so then I can figure out how I can be most helpful to others, what I can do to take action. And it begins in what we can control in our community. Okay. What can you do within your community that can help serve others? Okay. And so by worrying and being overwhelmed by all of the things, that only activates your nervous system, and your ability to connect with your divine wisdom becomes clouded, becomes difficult to do that. So we have to build our capacity to observe what is happening, to be knowledgeable, and to take action from a place of love without being overwhelmed and consumed by what's happening. Okay. So it's learning how to respond as opposed to being a constant state of reaction. That's what's important. Learning how to respond as opposed to just react. Because if you ever experienced fear and uncertainty and doubt growing up, and you haven't healed that part within you, that part might be what is reacting right now. That part within you might be what feels afraid. Okay. And so it's the opportunity for us to heal what's showing up for us. Because remember, emotions tell us a story. Emotions give us information. And even though all of this is happening, and we're like, how the hell am I supposed to heal this? How am I supposed to go deep within? This is why it's happening. I mean, there's lots of reasons why it's happening. I can peel back all the layers and tell you why. But when it comes to our own individual experiences, as it contributes to the collective experience, we are here to heal the traumas, the dramas, the hurts, and the pain. And that looks different for everybody. Sometimes it's integration, sometimes it's release, sometimes it looks different for everyone. But all of the stuff that's happening right now is happening for us to become aware of what's left in our healing journey. Because some of us have been doing this shit for a long time. And so there's still stuff that's showing up. I know for me, the like couple weeks ago, I was feeling like all kinds of stuff. Like I was like, well, wait a minute. I am pretty sure I worked through this already. Like, why is this showing up for me again? Like I'm pretty sure I worked through this years ago. Well, in part, what's happening is we're closing chapters. We're closing chapters in some of our healing and our experiences. And so it's coming up to ensure that we have actually healed. It's an opportunity to look at what's showing up. Go, do I have the skills and the capacity now to navigate through these difficult experiences or whatever that's showing up for me? Okay. And so right now, even though it feels like the world is on fire, it's our time to do our own healing work, because our healing work contributes to the collective consciousness. And we are in a deep transitional time right now. Okay. All righty. I think I got knocked off of Instagram. I don't know what happened. Okay. I don't know what this is, so I'm going to remove. Oh, no. I don't want to do that. Okay. Cancel. Okay. I don't know what happened. All righty. So that's where we're at right now. And I'm going to be back on Friday. And on Friday, I'm going to give you some very specific, I'm looking at what did I plan to do? I'm not sure. We're going to explore some strategies in figuring out how to navigate this experience and do a couple more readings. So do you have any questions or whatever's showing up for you? Let me know. Let me see, Lori, hold on. I'm going to take the words away. Here we go. Okay. You needed that reminder. Yay. Yeah. Things are really like, it's just a really weird time. It's a really weird time. It feels like a dystopian. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, how is this happening? Like, there's so many times when I'm just like listening to different news outlets and going, it's so odd that this would be happening all at once in the way that it is, you know? But systems have to be dismantled. And what we're going to need to start doing is we're going to actually need to start dreaming of what it is we want to see. We're going to need to stop focusing primarily in fear. And we want to think of what type of world, if we could create our own experience here, what would we want? What would we want? Because everything starts in the imagination. Everything starts in the imagination. And so imagine, like, spend a little bit of time imagining what a world that was inclusive, that was supportive of others, that where people got their needs met, where people were not ever hungry. It feels so far-fetched, doesn't it? It feels unrealistic completely. We've got countries who do like countries and cultures and different perspectives and values and all of the things that make each of us so unique, right? Each country unique. And then you look at just from our demographics. I mean, it's unbelievable how similar and yet how different we all are. So how do you take all of these perspectives and these ideas and create this unified belief system? Feels so unbelievable. But we have to start exploring the idea of what could be possible. Okay. All right, everyone. Thank you all. I'm so glad it was helpful, Margaret. Thank you all for hanging with me. I'm going to be jumping on again on Friday, and we're going to continue the conversation, and we're just going to kind of keep learning, keep exploring, keep talking, and we're going to do some more readings. Okay. Have a good evening.